Introducing FANZONE. My friend Elliot from Canada.
We are still
Say we are
top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
Allows any fan, anywhere you are on the planet, to broadcast live into our shows at the push of a button via our website or app.
I'm tired of hearing about the Europa League like it's silverware. So is the League Cup. So is the Dubai Cup. So is the Community Shield.
Michael, come on, they're not the same level.
No, I mean it.
Cecile. My guy.
FANZONE on AFTV Plus. You can download it on iOS or the Play Store and have your say.
Oh God, McLaren
gone.
He's been in the pit 40 seconds.
Whoa.
Front wing, careful with the front wing. God. Matisse, it's happening, mate. I'm putting on my lucky new Ferrari hat. Oh no.
Oh, Sainz.
Leclerc. It's Leclerc.
Drama.
Take that out. Leclerc.
Hi everyone, and welcome along to another AFTV Live in conjunction with AFTV FANZONE. Today, my name is Laurie, and I'm joined by the Don himself, Mr. Don Robbie. What are you saying, man? AKA my younger sibling.
You're here, man. The pain is still here, bro. I've been getting cooked all day as well, man, about the game the other night. I was on the overlap this morning with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. As soon as I walked through the door, there's Gary Neville stood right there. You right, Robbie? I was like, oh my God, here we go. It's a day of misery.
I must admit, at times like this, I don't envy you, man. You must have to, you're carrying that on your back.
Yeah, I got cooked then, and I had to do Best of Enemies, come back to London, I had to do Best of Enemies with expressions. He's on the cookout as well, you know what I mean? Shameless, considering he's a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, exactly.
And basically since, you know, I've been up in, you know, because I had to come back to London yesterday because I did a really good event at the Emirates Stadium, and to big up to Kick It Out. They've done this event called Raise Your Game, like a mentoring event. In
that
the
Troy Townsend, isn't it?
Troy Townsend.
Big up Troy.
Yeah, it's big, man, in the Emirates Stadium. So I literally came back from the game, drove home, came to the Emirates, done that thing yesterday, and then I left at about 5 o'clock yesterday and went back to Manchester. Wow. So that stayed overnight, in the morning did the overlap, and then come back to London today. Wow. So I was been up in Manchester now a few days, and they be giving me some stick. Every Man City fan has come out of the woodwork and has been on my case.
I would imagine it's not just City fans either. It's probably
I mean,
you know, as well.
in London now, Tottenham fans, Chelsea fans, and I'm like, well, what about you lot? I mean, you're not.
But people don't look at it like that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying you're not Man City fans.
No, they don't care.
I mean, you support Chelsea, man. What happened to you lot the other night? You didn't win a game, did you?
But you know what? I'm glad you're here. It's a real pleasure to have you here. We've got lots to talk about, and I want to say from the outset that today we're here to strike a positive tone. And I know you're like me. That's how we were brought up, to be positive, to look forward, and to embrace challenges. And that's what we're going to do, man. We're going to try and strike a positive tone, and to let everybody know out there that it ain't over.
Yeah, it ain't over. It's, you know what I mean? That's the title. And I was reading some of the comments where people go, what are you lot? Shut up, man. It's over. It's done. It's not over till it's over.
It's not over.
And do you know what, right? This for me is very important, right? That if the players think it's over, then that's not going to be great. All those players have got to say to themselves, right, you know what? What we got to try and do now is put in a strong performances from now till the end of the season, and see what happens. See,
absolutely. You
know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, right, it's not over yet. You know what I mean? The season's not finished. No. You know what I mean? We're all hurting. Right. I'm hurting, as you just said there. I've taken some serious stick. All of us as Arsenal fans have taken some serious stick. We've all been a bit embarrassed, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we've been having a great season as Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? We've been having a great season as Arsenal as a team. We've been absolutely amazing this season. Now, yes, over the last, 4 or 5 games, you know what I mean, it's seen a dip, you know what I mean?
No wins in 4.
No wins in 4, you know what I mean? And really humbled the other night, you know what I mean? They were on another level to us, you know what I mean? They looked like, it looked at times like men against boys. I was sat
Well,
there.
I'm going to ask you about that, but
Yeah.
let's look at this logically. So as we sit here today, it is not mathematically over, okay? We're still a couple of points ahead of City. Yes, they've got the 2 games in hand, but there are 5 games to go for us. City have got 7 games, and we're going to go into that a little bit later. So mathematically, it's not over. And, you know, there's still a lot to play for, regardless of that, notwithstanding the title, whether we win it or not. You know what I mean? There's our integrity on the line. There's our pride on the line. But before we do all that, I must just rewind back to Wednesday, because you were there. I wasn't. I was in the studio with these guys doing the watch along. Shout out to all the guys who took part in that. But you were at the game. You were in the cauldron. Give us your very brief thoughts on the game.
We got dealt with.
Got smoked.
We got smoked, man. You know what I mean? They were so good. I mean, like, first of all, what surprised me was they didn't really use the flanks much. I don't know if you noticed that in the game, but Grealish weren't really involved in the game. The game wasn't played out wide, even for us, you know what I mean? I think in the first half, we only got the ball to Martinelli once. He was just so isolated, you know what I mean? Saka didn't see much of the ball, you know what I mean? So there was, on both sides, there wasn't a lot of play out wide. It was all sort of through the middle. And, you know, they just exploited that. They exploited our high line. We had a high line. They had Haaland on holding, right, which was a real mismatch. You know, and it wasn't just holding who couldn't cope with him. Also, Gabriel couldn't cope with him either. Well, and basically, De Bruyne and Haaland just run the show, man. And you know,
I've got to ask
as much as we can say, oh, this player made an error, that player made an error, whatever. We've also got to recognise that, you know, these are, you know, Haaland is an unbelievable player. Any defender, and I heard Jamie Carragher saying that this morning, that any defender is going to have real issues defending him because he is so good. Whether on a half turn, his pace, his power, he wins headers. He was like an old. I mean, they were just getting the ball up to him, and he was just like an old school. And he's got a lot of skill as well.
Yes,
and they dominated us.
He's a complete package.
Yeah, he's a complete package, and they dominated us. They dominated us. And
but let me ask you a question, because this is something that I've felt watching the game, and I've also felt that since the game. For me, it looked like once City scored after between the 6th and 7th minute, it would appear that any confidence that we had, and let's face it, our confidence was already a little bit fragile going into that game with no wins in 3. But it just appeared to me that once they scored that goal, and it was a very good goal, it did appear to me that the confidence just sapped out of the players. Is that you were there? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, their confidence was sapped out of the players. And, you know what I mean, after that, they had more chances, and it was Aaron Ramsdale who kept us in the game. But what really annoyed me is we've got to stay in the game. You know what I mean? You're 1-0 down, you're away at home against a very, very good side. It happens. What you got to do is try and get into half-time at just 1-0 and then say, you know, what can we do? What can we do a bit differently in the second half maybe? You know what I mean? But we didn't. It was that second goal that we conceded right on half time that just killed the game. It was game over then. I could not see us coming back from that because they were so much in control. So it was for me. Yeah, the first goal was bad, but it was early in the game, and you can, you know. But the second goal killed it because, you know, I mean, you remember similar situation the other day. We're playing West Ham. We're in complete control, domination. But things can happen to get you back in the game, but you stay in it. And we did not stay in the game, and that's what killed us. And then once we got to the second half, you know, I mean, I thought that goal, you know, we were going to get a little reprieve with the offside, but his little toe was onside, and I mean, it just all went against us.
Nothing went our way.
But going back to the title of the show, and I see some people in the chat saying, "What are you talking about? That it is over. Shut up!" But it's not. We've got to still be positive, right, about number one this season, because this team this season has been excellent, right? You know what I mean? It's not many times this season they've let the Arsenal fans down, right? Even the other night, they're a great side, right? You know what I mean? Let's not forget, you know what I mean? Even United went there you know, they put 6 past them. You know, it's not going to be an easy place to go to, but we should have done better. We know that. But there's still, I had to remind somebody this morning, we are actually still top of the league.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, man,
we are actually still top. You think we're bottom of the league right now.
We need to adopt a positive outlook. Not just the players, the fans, everybody connected with the club. It's so important that we fight tooth and nail for every point from here on.
Don't tail off now. You don't
exactly.
You know,
and even for those people who say that the title is over. Yes, you would have to make City very strong favourites from here on in. But it's not mathematically over, as I said. And even if you say we're not going to win it, I would say, listen, man, there's 5 games left, 15 points to play for. We could conceivably acquire 90 points, which would be the same that the Invincibles got, for example, when we had that great season back in 2003, 4, whatever it is. An opportunity to put daylight between ourselves and Newcastle, finish second. And personally, I hope City do go on and do good things. At least we can say we are runners up to the best team in Europe. So there's so many things that we can play for.
I don't want to. They've been too. Listen, I've suffered. Past few days, right? I've been up in Manchester, as I said. I've been suffering, man. But these arrogant Man City fans, and they got a reason to be arrogant, and give it to them. Well, I don't want to win nothing.
But wouldn't you say? I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying.
Listen, check this out.
But wouldn't you prefer to lose out to a team that you can say, well, at least we lost out to a team?
Yeah, listen, it's either us or them who are going to win the league, and it's probably going to be them. So we're already going to say that. So you know what I mean. I don't want him winning nothing else. You know what I mean? Well, actually, I want him to win the FA Cup because KG, the comedian's in the chat. He says, "You man need to stop this." Right? G40, raise your hand. We have raised our hand, KG.
He's having a pop at me there.
Right? We have raised. Well, for me, I've raised my hand and said, "Listen." The other night, they're way better team. But let me ask you this, KG, as a Man United fan, right? A Man United fan who was having a go at Arsenal, talking about crumbling, talking about bottling it. You bottled a 2-goal lead, he said. Man United have just bottled 2 2-goal leads as well in the last couple of games. Against Sevilla, they were 2-0 up, went out of the Europa League, got thrashed in the second game. And last night against Tottenham, of all teams, on the floor Tottenham, right? You know what I mean? You were 2-0 up in that and you bottled that one as well. So behave, KG.
Talking of bottling it, right? We should just address this because people have been coming at me as well. Because I know myself and you, we've been very outspoken when people have been throwing this term at us. You bottled it. Even going back to the Liverpool game, we've had to put up with that. Then we had to put up with it for the West Ham, then the Southampton, and of course with the Man City game. And me and you have been saying basically that the word bottling it in football is probably the most overused word in a football lexicon because some people seem to think that bottling it is if you don't beat a team that on paper you should beat. And I'm saying to them, listen, that's a very simplistic term, bottling it. You know what I mean? It's a very throwaway term. But I've got to ask you, on Wednesday, did you get the sense that we did bottle it or what?
I think, you know what I mean? I don't like the word.
You were there, I weren't.
Yeah, bottling it, as you said, right, is a word sometimes that is overused, and I think, you know what I mean, I don't precisely think we bottled it, but I do think the other night, you could say on Wednesday night, we wilted under the pressure. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That one you have to, you know what I mean? The other games I'm not putting down to, you know, they were just poor performances. And KG says, we bottled it, I admit it. So he is saying that, KG.
Because him and Flex have been coming at me with this bottling. Yeah, we bottled it. And I'm saying to Flex and KG and anyone else that would listen, I said, listen, with the Liverpool games, West Ham, Southampton, it's not simply a case of bottling. I think what happened is you got a young, inexperienced team. We had some injuries and we're going through an indifferent run of form. I didn't see in those games, right? Let's put aside the City game for 1 minute. I didn't see any Arsenal player in those games not showing for the ball, not going into tackles, not trying. You know what I mean?
Listen,
those are the things that I associate with bottling.
For me, this is what bottling is for me. So for me, I think the game against that we played against Liverpool, we didn't bottle it.
No,
right? We threw away a 2-0 goal lead, but it's a very, very tough place to go to. KG will testify to that. They lost 7-0 there, right? The game against West Ham, far from bottling it, I think we were too arrogant. It was so easy that we thought we were just going to coast our way through that game and ended up like, you know, almost a little bit like we were too cocky in that game, and that's why we ended up.
Well, I did caution people in that game because I said that West Ham are on their day. They're a very decent side.
And then the one against the other night now is the one that comes the nearest to bottling it, because that one the other night,
which one?
The City one.
Oh, the City. What about the Southampton?
The Southampton one wasn't bottling it again. I put that down to complacency, but we didn't lose the game. Remember, we actually fought our way back.
Twice.
It was free. We got a point out of it, but it was not good enough, and we were very complacent in the game. The closest one coming towards bottling it is the Man City one the other night, because that one we wilted under the pressure, and we were beaten by far the better team than us on the night, right? So the word bottling it for me is what I saw last week Sunday when Tottenham played, right? And this is not just for dig's sake or nothing, but that's what I call bottling it. We're basically a game where you've just given up. And they know the Tottenham players have offered to pay the fans back the money because, and even saw Harry Kane come out today and said, he had to have an honest discussion with even the owner of the club, because they know that they gave up. To me, giving up is bottling it. Now, if Arsenal just give up from now on till the end of the season, then that is bottling it. I want to see some fight from us from now till the end of the season. I want to see us say, right, you know what? We've gone for a horrible period. Let us finish this season as strong as we possibly can and see where it takes us. You never know.
I'm going to ask you a question.
You never know.
I do agree with you.
Hold on a second. The last time we played Man City and they beat us, right? The very next game they went and drew to Nottingham Forest. It was a big shock. Nobody expected that. Everybody just expected them to go, because remember they went above us then, and everyone just expected them to go on this amazing run, and they actually then went and drew to Forest and kind of let us back in. Now I'm not saying that's going to happen this time, but we have to apply the pressure so that if there is any little slip up from Man City, and nerves can come into it. Talking to even Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville this morning, they're saying they've had periods in, like Gary Neville in particular, who's involved in a lot of run-ins, was saying where we have wobbles, man, and then all of a sudden teams, it can happen, but there's no point in those wobbles happening and we're not winning our games. So we've got to get back on track. It's not been good enough recently. We've got to get back to winning ways, get the confidence going again, and let's finish the season as strong as we can.
We're definitely gonna look at that. But before I move on to that, I'm going to ask you a question straight up now. Look me in the eye and tell me if you think that the players bottled it on Wednesday. Straight up. Keep it 100.
On Wednesday?
You were there, I wasn't. You would have got a sense of the mood, of what was going on that pitch. Did you get the impression that the players had mentally given up or checked out on Wednesday?
No, I didn't get. They didn't mentally check out. They just couldn't overcome.
City were just much better side.
The team was just much better than us, man. I was just sitting there in sort of later on in the game. I was sitting there in admiration, like, we can't get close to these lot, man. We're trying, but we just can't get close to them. They're just so much better than us. They're so strong in every area on that night, and so we didn't give up. Giving up is bottling it to me. Yeah, so, I agree with you. Let me before you do that, let me just read a few super chats here, because they're coming in thick and fast. And also, don't forget, we've got FANZONE on tonight's show as well. So if you want to get involved in that, make sure you've downloaded the app AFTV Plus. Go onto that very simple procedure. Just press a couple of buttons. You come through to our virtual green room, and you'll be able to come on live onto the show and speak with us. We want to hear from as many of you fans wherever you are in the world. Just download the app now. AFTV Plus from the App Store if you don't already have it, right? Now, Ramin says, I have a bad feeling this is the downfall. This downfall is just the start. So he's not very confident at the moment. Chitiana says, we saw City as a cut above us. The real question is, how do we compete with them? What should be the summer targets? We need to load up on the quality for the Champions League. I think you're so right there, Chitiana. The thing is about it, you saw Man City, the strength in depth that they've had. I mean, Saliba is a huge miss for us. No matter what people want to say, it's not. Rob Holding has not been terrible since he's come in, but he's just not at the levels of Saliba. There was an example the other night that just showed me that, where he was kind of isolated a bit. The ball came to him. It was him and Haaland, right? What he needed to do is either go back to the goalkeeper, or he could maybe have turned out. He didn't trust himself to do either of those, and he just kicked it into Rosette and went safety first, which he realised his limitations. Saliba wouldn't have done that. Saliba would have tried to turn out. He would have had confidence in himself to hold on to the ball. He might have played it back to the keeper and then run into a bit of space and received it back. It's a different dynamic, but it is what it is.
It's also the partnership that he'd formed with Gabriel. They looked impregnable.
Yeah, Rob Holding, remember, Rob Holding's not even an England international. You know what I mean? But he's not been particularly bad, but there is a drop-off with him when Saliba's not in the team.
And I think it's also fair to say that with Tomiyasu out as well, we weren't given that option of maybe playing Ben White there and having Tomiyasu on the
Exactly,
right.
no Tomiyasu as well, you're right.
Yeah.
Ricky Proctor says, Arsenal fans have been cocky, arrogant all season without even winning anything. City fans have earned the right to be arrogant too. We take it on the chin. And listen, I've been taking it on the chin up there in Manchester, boom, 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 every day. And to every City fan, I said to them, fair play to you guys, man, brilliant. Sam says, is KDB world class? Now they're trying to resurrect this thing. This was based off of I was on DR Sports, and I was simply, I did not say Kevin De Bruyne was not world class. I simply put a question out there because I was like, is KDB world class? And just made the argument that he's never really done it at an international level. For his club, there's no doubt he's world class. But he's never done it at international level.
I think you're right to ask that
And I was asking the question, what makes you world class? Because if you look at, say, Luka Modric, for instance, who's very similar to a De Bruyne in that they're both brilliant midfielders. Modric has done it for his club, but he's also, when he's played for Croatia, he's also one of the unbelievable player. I saw him at the World Cup, I saw him at the Euros, unbelievable for his country as well. Whereas De Bruyne hasn't really lit it up for Belgium. And
when you consider as well, that let's be honest, man, that Belgian team is
he's playing with better players. So that was the question I asked. But listen, he is a world-class player. Although I really want to know, what do you define as world-class? I really would like to know that, because to define a world-class player, is that just like at club level, or do you have to do it at club level and international level?
I mean, speaking of De Bruyne, I would say very quickly
that he was brilliant.
I do think he's world class, but I also think you have every right to put that question.
Yeah, and that's all I did. And for that, you're good at De Bruyne. Oh, relax, man, chill. I'd have him in my team tomorrow. He's an unbelievable player, and the other night he was brilliant. I mean, his accuracy of passing. Do
you think Ramsdale could have done a bit better with that shot? Beating on his near post. I mean, don't get me wrong.
There was a little, I was behind it, man. There's a little curl on it, man. I think it was a great.
Bit like
I don't blame Ramsdale. He was at full stretch for that.
To use a cricket term, it's like an off break.
Yeah. Cyrus says, people need to chill. City have 7 games to play. Anything can happen. Arsenal are top of the league. The football gods have not spoken yet. Salty rivals, all giddy. Better hope City don't slip up, said ZFB. Adula says, just win the next 2 and hope City drop in the next 2. The only way we're still in it is if we beat Chelsea and Newcastle, and City drop points versus Fulham and the Hammers. City will still have Brighton, Everton and Brentford away. Now, a lot of games on paper, you look on it and you say, and I know you're going to run through the games, a lot of games on paper sometimes look easy, like Southampton at home, 3 points, when everyone's looking down it, who we got? West Ham away, standard. We always beat them. And I'm guilty of it as well, by the way. I'm not saying it right. Southampton, but we're at a stage of the season now where every team's fighting for something. Newcastle fighting to make sure they're in the top 4. Chelsea ain't fighting for it. They're about the only team who've got nothing to fight for apart from their pride. And even that, teams are fighting for pride. You've got teams down the bottom that, they know that if they can win a game or nick a point, they could stay in the Premier League. It's do or die.
Look,
and when somebody knows they might die,
I often like to use the term, the integrity of the Premier League. And that is a real thing. Teams in this league, man, they will go for it, you know what I mean? And like you said, there's a lot of teams with lots to play for, so they're not just going to roll over. That old adage about there are no easy games in the Premier League is largely true. You can get the odd freakish result, but let's be honest, man, most teams, there is an integrity there. They're going to try and win. That's not to be underestimated.
Yeah. Fred says some Arsenal fans are at that denial stage. Brett Laguna says there's no evidence of City dropping points to lose the title at this point. And you are right. you are right. There is no evidence at this point that Manchester City will drop points, but you never know.
You just don't.
All it takes, right, and these things can happen, is that come Sunday, they're playing against Fulham. Oh, Haaland's done his hamstring. He's out for a few games. Or, oh, De Bruyne's off. Or anything can happen in football. We don't know. You know what I mean? A certain player gets sent off. You know what I mean? So what you got to do as a club, in the case of Arsenal, is you've got to stay there, stay in and around it, just in case. And that's why we've gone with the title. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. No.
It's not officially over yet.
It's not over yet. And
we're
like
all
I said,
hurting. The momentum's gone. If they win their games from now to the end of the season, they've won the title. Yes. But who knows?
Even if that plays out that way, that they win the title, us, Arsenal, as a football club, we've still got a lot to play for. There's 5 games left, and I'll just run through these very quickly. We're going to take your call soon. We've got a few callers waiting to get through. We're going to deal with you very soon. But let me just say this, yeah? So Arsenal have 5 games left. Let's start with Chelsea on the 2nd of May. On Sunday, the 7th of May, we go away to Newcastle.
Tough game.
It is. Followed the following Sunday by Brighton at home. Now, that's a home game, but that's still a tough game.
Yep.
We got Forest away the week after that on the Saturday.
Fighting for their lives, Forest.
They're fighting for their lives.
And they got to win the other night as well, Forest.
Yeah, that's
good
right.
win against Brighton.
Yep. And Wolves, who on their day are a very good side.
Yeah,
so
probably be safe, Wolves, on that day. Maybe fighting for their lives. But I think, listen, it's still a team of very, very good players.
Exactly. So my point is, regardless of what City do, we've got 5 games here that we should try and win all 5. I'm absolutely sure the manager and the players, that will be the approach they take. And I think as fans, we need to get behind the club and let's try and will them over the line and to get these 5 wins, get these 15 points. And like I said, if we get 15 points, that will take us to 90. That will actually match the tally that the Invincible acquired, 90 points. So that would be a phenomenal season. And like I said, if we don't win the title, we would have lost out to City, who in my view, in my humble opinion, City are one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best team in Europe. And if they go on and win the Champions League, which I think they will do, then they would have proved that. So, okay, if we don't win it, we can console ourselves that we came second, which at the start of the season, lots of people would have taken that. Let's be honest, we would have done. I certainly would have.
We weren't in anybody's top 4.
Exactly.
Let's be real. We weren't.
Yeah.
This is the Man City games that they've got. They've got Fulham away.
They've got 7.
7 games they've got. Obviously, they've got 2 games in hand. So they've got Fulham away. They've got West Ham at home. West Ham a little bit more resurgent than they've been, even though they lost the other night.
But on their day, good team.
Yep. Leeds at home. You'd think that would be light work the way
Leeds will be desperate for the points.
Leeds are desperate for the points. They're fighting for their lives, but you'd expect Leeds. Everton away, even though I know Everton got pumped last night by Newcastle. It's never an easy place to go. That game was a pretty even game in the first half. Everton, we lost there. Everton went to the Etihad and got a point as well earlier on in the season. They are that type of team when they're fighting for their lives, and they are at the moment. You never know. They've got Chelsea at home. You'd expect them to win that, but just as we all find with Chelsea, they'll probably step it up for that game. But Chelsea at home, they've got to go away to Brighton, which Brighton still got European places to play for. I know they lost the other night, but they're coming off the back of having to play in the FA Cup and stuff like that. So I kind of expected that their levels would drop for that game. And then the last game, they've got to go away to Brentford. Which
Brentford
again,
beat them earlier in the season.
Brentford beat them earlier on in the season. They won't be looking to do them any favours. And then also Brentford, last game at home in front of their home fans, will wanna put in a performance. So we've got to take it at the very minimum to the last game if we possibly can. You know what I mean? We've got to take it all the way. That is how we can get some pride out of it. Remembering as well that within those 7 games that Man City are playing, they've got 2 Champions League games to play against Real Madrid. I think that comes in between them playing. I think West Ham's in the middle of that as well, sandwiched in there somewhere. So
let's not forget the FA Cup game. Against Man United, that could be a potentially very tough game.
I wouldn't include that because that's after the league would have finished already.
No, but I'm saying in the run up to the
well, I think
to think about it.
Yeah, I think the league would have finished already. So you know what I mean. And they got such a squad. I don't even think that would really worry them, if I'm being honest with you. We've got some callers coming up. Just before we do, let me just do a few more super chats because they've been coming in thick and fast as well. Samuel says, is this Robbie lookalike related to Robbie? The resemblance is too much. Well, he's my brother. That's right. Canadian Gooner 1995 says, Robbie, enough of the deflecting. We bottled it. 3 points in 3 games before the City game lost us the league. Arsenal have 0 world-class players in the squad. Miles Smith says, I believe City will drop points, but I also believe that we will. You're probably right. We built a cushion, but that cushion went heading into the City game. I don't think we bottled it, but I can see why people would say that. HC says, Robbie, you've been drinking from Ty's bottle, so obviously thinks I'm deluded. And Samuel says, no way you're getting 5 wins out of 5. Laugh my arse off. Well, we did. We was on a great run up until recently. And why... HT, you're saying I'm deluded, I'm drinking from Ty's bottle. So do we just give up?
This is it.
There's Arsenal fans out there. Is that it? Do we just say, yeah, just throw it away? Got no chance, leave it. Forget it. All the rest of the games, just put the kids in, play, forget it. League's done. Should we do that? I don't know.
And you know what I find funny as well? You know what I find funny as well? We're going to go to a caller. I don't want to delay things too long, but I do think I need to say this. So as fans, right, we expect the players and the manager and everybody associated with the club to show that belief, to show that confidence. But then we as fans now are going to say, oh, it's done, it's finished. You know what I mean? Everything needs to be aligned. You know what I mean? Speak it, believe it, achieve it. So anyway, we set the tone. We set our stall out. That's one of positivity. Let's hear what the callers think.
Yeah, let's get some of these guys up, man, because that's the question I want to ask. There are people in here accusing me for being too positive, I don't know, man. That's why.
It seems eminently sensible to me.
This is the time when you back your team, man. You back your team. I mean, you got to back them when things is rough as well, right?
Exactly.
And you know what? I get it sometimes when a team has been putting in terrible performance after terrible performance all season, but this team hasn't been.
And you know what? I don't want to see a situation whereby the season after the phenomenal season that we've had up to now, pretty much, we don't want to see it peter out and just fade away.
That's what I'm saying.
We want to end on a positive note.
Finish the season strongly. Don't just let it just the season just finishes. And
because that would be disappointing.
Arsenal 10 points behind Man City, and I mean that's when you look back on it and you're just full of regret, and you finish it strongly.
But with that I say, let's hear what the people got to say.
All right, who we got?
Right, who we got on the line?
Hello.
I can't hear
Hi
him.
guys, how you doing?
I can't hear him either.
You should be able to hear me.
Hold on, we're just trying to we've not got a volume for you at the moment.
I'm looking at his body language here. It doesn't look too great.
Looking at the body languge, he's not feeling anything.
He's not feeling it.
He's not feeling anything what we said. We got no volume on here, guys. So we're gonna, you know what? We'll come back to you in a minute. We're gonna get the guys to sort the volume out because we can't hear you at the moment. But you can see by
that body language did not look very positive at all. You know what I mean? But listen, I can understand the disappointment, but in sport, that's what happens. You've got to overcome those disappointments. You've got to go again. You know, you can't allow yourself to be bogged down by your feelings of negativity, despite what went on the pitch. I mean, listen, after the game, I was pretty down, as I'm sure you would have been for a while. But you know, things move on in life.
Yeah,
you look at it and you've got to be logical about this stuff.
Yeah, ZFB says we keep going until it's mathematically done. Come on, you Gunners. Did you see that? I think it was Giannis, you know, the basketball player.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw that.
Now, that is, I thought that was brilliant, that interview, where he was being, you know, they were having a pop at him because I think they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he was pointing out, all right, now listen, I know we haven't won the league, right? But he was pointing out the fact that, you know, I think what he was trying to say is that they've had a good season. They've just not won it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, they come up with teams better than them.
Described the disappointment as a step to success. rather than it being a failure.
Exactly, and I really like what you said there. William Contreras says, Robbie, there's a difference between belief and reality. I believed in the team to win this title this season, but they didn't. The reality is City are in great form and we are not. They can drop points, but so can we. It's done. Ricky Proctor says, if we finish less than 6 points behind City, it means that we are better than City were against 18 of the other teams. We need to beat City next season, and that's our next step. That's very true. I said that the other night to some of the guys, man. I said, we got to start beating teams like City, you know? And Samuel says, Robbie, it's okay to back your team, but be realistic once in a while. You thought they'll go to City and win. Like what? Laugh out loud. Why would you say that? Samuel, you're an Arsenal fan. Are you an Arsenal fan? I want to find out if he's an Arsenal fan. Have we got...
Yeah,
I think we've got...
Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we've got our callers back, hopefully. We've got Harvey there. Harvey, how you doing?
Very well. Can you hear me this time?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Now, your body language told us that you're not in a good mood. You haven't got time for the stuff we're saying. You don't want to hear it, and you know.
No, I do not. I mean, I've spoken with Laurie a couple of times already. He knows where my stance is on it.
Yeah.
Guys,
so basically, you've not shifted since we spoke after the game, then?
No, and I keep on hearing the word positive, man. I swear.
So what do we... Hold on, Harvey. So let's just forget the rest of the season then, yeah? Shall we just... Chelsea next week, just put the kids out, you know what I mean? Go down to Hayland, round up 5 of the kids and say, yeah, you're in the team, rest this player, and just... The season's over, done, forget it, it's finished.
Is that
what you're saying to me?
I mean, I can't be bothered, but I mean, they get paid $120,000 a week. So, well, British pounds, but you know, so they got to
No. What do you want us to do from now till the end of the season? Give up.
I would. What the players? What do I want the players to do?
Do you want them to? Of course, the players. I'm talking about the players. We're not on the pitch.
I want them to go out there and do their jobs to the best of their ability.
Okay.
But regarding the title discussions, I'm done. I've been done for a while now. And I would like...
So you've given up? You've given up?
No, yeah, I have. I mean, I'm not the one playing. I'm realistic.
I get that. No, I get that. You're realistic. But basically, when you say you're done, does that mean, you know, I can't be bothered no more. I'm not even going to support these lot. They've let me down.
Robbie,
what are you saying?
Do you know that game? I think it was like 2 years ago when Kieran Tierney in the snow scored a banger against Brighton away. He cut it to his right foot. Okay, I watched that game. It was 3 o'clock over here in the States. I was watching that game in the parking lot with my girlfriend of Disney World, which she had gotten tickets for us as a Christmas gift, and it was our first romantic getaway as a couple. And I told her, I love you, but Arsenal's playing on this day, so we're going to be watching this in the parking lot outside of Disney World. I'm going to watch the team and support them no matter what. Okay, that's my level of commitment. Okay, we're not together anymore, and I think you can tell why. But the reality is that the title's done, and why we continue to engage in this conversation.
Okay, let me. I've got a question for you. Okay, even if the title is done, right? Do you not think that the club, the players, the manager, owe it to us as the fans to win every possible point that they can up until now, until the end of the season? There's 5 games left. Your sense of disappointment is palpable. I'm feeling it, and I know it's genuine. I've spoken to you a few times. I know where you're coming from. But what I'm saying is, even the title notwithstanding, do you not think that with 5 games left, those players owe it to us as fans and everybody associated with the club, go out there and try and win all 5 games? I mean, they might not do that, but they still ought to go out there with that attitude that they're going to try and win those games.
Yeah, Laurie, yes, but with all due respect, it's a pointless question. They owe it to themselves as professional to go out there and try to win every single game regardless. That's why you're a professional. You're not there to just, for a photo op and show off and do keepy ups. Like, you're there to win the game.
That's why we titled the show this way, because it's not over yet, not just for the title, but because they're professionals and they should go out there and try and win every game. And as I said before, there's 5 games there. We can finish the season on a relative high. No, I said relative, because if we, win those games, you're basically confirming okay, we're not as good as City, but we're way better than everybody else in the league. To me, that is a considerable achievement on last season when we didn't even qualify for the Champions League. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no doubt that there's progress. Like, that's fine, but guys, we're really grasping at straws here. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Not really. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, like you titled the show "It's Not Over Yet" in reference to the season. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, you could also have titled the show "There's 5 games left. Chelsea's up next." Clearly, it's not over yet. You're referring to the title fight. The title fight is over. It was over a long time ago, and I could go into exactly why I think it's over, so that you don't think it's some sort of reactionary negativity trying to get views or clickbait or whatever. That's not my thing. The reality is that when you look at the title fights, right, especially against juggernauts like teams like Manchester City, they beat Liverpool in 2019 and 2022 by 1 point. By 1 point. They took 6 points off of us. When we lost 3-1 at home to City, I told the guys here at AFTV, I was like, I think the title's done. Because there's no way that you can be in a title fight and lose 3-1. Then we go to Liverpool, we bottle a 2-0 lead. And yes, we bottle a 2-0 lead. Everyone's like, well, in hindsight, realistically speaking, getting a point away at Anfield isn't that bad, blah, 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 blah. When Liverpool won the Premier League and they were competing for titles, and we were the ones struggling, did they come to our ground and struggle and hold on to a lead, or did they absolutely embarrass us? They embarrassed us. And even then, they came shy of winning the Premier League twice by 1 point against the same team we're competing against. But when we drop a 2-0 lead against them, it's a good result. Like, come on.
No, listen. You do make.
Trying to be reactionary. I'm just looking at the evidence that is presenting itself.
No, but hold on there. You see, this is the thing that we do as well, which is wrong. You know, what did City do when they went there this season? What was the result when Man City went to Liverpool?
Well, earlier in the season, yeah.
Don't give me no early. What was the result?
Drew, no? If I'm not mistaken?
They lost, didn't they?
Okay,
They lost to Liverpool, right? What was the result when Man United went to Liverpool? It's not an easy play. Let me tell you something. As someone who was at the ground, who's been over year in, year out, right? Our performances there have not been good enough, but it is one of the most difficult places to go in world football, let alone in the Premier League. So don't look on that and think that, you're just going to go waltzing into these places and batter every team, because City didn't do it. And they're running away with it. They're way ahead of Liverpool this year. But it's not an easy place to go to. And what I'm saying is, and I understand your pain, and nobody, listen, I respect you, and respect the fact that it doesn't matter whether I'm here at the game or you're in a car park with your girlfriend at Disney World. Sounds a lot better than being outside the Etihad, surrounded by hundreds of City fans singing to me, Robbie, what's the score, right? And giving me stick after stick. I felt so low. I felt so bad. I had been getting it in my ear this morning from Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, right? I've been getting it in my ear this afternoon from Expressions and every other fan going. But you know what? The reality of it is, and this is how I want the players to feel, is that it is not over yet. Yes, you're right. You are right. You're being sensible, and you're probably going to be proven right that, you know what? They're such a machine. They're such a good team. They're really going to drop points. And the way we're playing at the moment, look like we'll drop more. But we can't give up yet, because that will be bottling it. We got to keep going until the end of the season. But Harvey, thanks very much. We have to move it on. We got a load of people waiting. But no, thank you very much, man.
Thanks for the call, bro. Respect.
Thank you. Thank you, Harvey. Who else have we got lined up here? We got a load of people lined up wanting to have to say. Mohammed, we got Mohammed up. How you doing, Mohammed?
Hello, my friends. How are you?
How are you now? Listen, is it over?
Okay, technically no, but based off the fact that City are so confident and they just look like an unstoppable team, it doesn't seem like they'll drop points, but you never know. If they drop, 4 points, and we continue to win, then we could win the league. But I don't know. Remember, all this season, what have we been doing? One game at a time. So I'm going to still stick to that kind of mentality, because there's no point of thinking too far ahead. I went back on FIFA and I crushed City 4-0 after the game, so that's okay. But I was
I wish it was that
Robbie,
easy.
Robbie, just like you, I was stuck with all the I went to a proper British pub here in Los Angeles, and it's an Arsenal fan place, but out in the back they have like where all the opposing supporters go, and I got there a little late because of work, so I had to stick with the City fans, and it was just brutal. It was brutal out there.
Listen, man. I told you I got some stick. And you know the worst part about it, right? I was on. They've got this thing called City Square, where before the game it's like a big stage and they have bands play on it and stuff like that. And they invited me. They did it when the FA Cup was on, and they did it for this game as well. They invited me on stage, and they got me and a Man City fan. I think it was a guy from the group, the Smiths, and we were on stage. And then when it came to the predictions, the host, one of the hosts, is a female host. She goes, I predict 4-1 to City. And I go, what? I go, you're not even giving us no. She goes, you're a good team, Robbie, but the way we're playing, 4-1. And she was spot on. So I was getting reminded of that as well. But no, listen, I think the thing is about it, all I'm saying is I get everybody's pain. I'm in pain. I get what everybody's saying. But Arsenal, like you just said there, game by game, we can't give up.
Could I just ask the caller a question? Just a quick question. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. So, so if in the event that we don't win the title, we do finish second, qualify for the Champions League, etc., would you regard the season as a success despite us not winning it?
Well, it's a twofold answer for me. So. The pickup soccer league that I play in has a lot of Chelsea and United fans, so I've just been on their case all season long. And so if we finish second, they're going to be on my case. So that part is not a success for me. But I mean, okay, look, it is a success in the fact that we're in the Champions League. And that's what I wanted at the beginning of the season. I was like really excited for it, and I think we can do good things in the Champions League. The only thing I'm worried about is this is my genuine concern, and I've heard some people talk about it, some of the Arsenal YouTubers. I don't believe that, and as much as I give him credit, I don't believe that Mikel Arteta is the best at rotating his squads. A lot of us, we talk about squad depth and how we need all these players. I compared our bench to City's. We don't have bad players. I consider Kieran Tierney one of the best left backs in the Premier League still. I actually rate him over Zinchenko as a left back. Now, obviously there's Mikel Arteta's role, inverted left back. Obviously Zinchenko plays that better, but as a proper left back, I rate Kieran Tierney over him. And, we have a couple injuries. Tomiyasu's a great right back. I think Emile Smith-Rowe is an amazing player who's unfortunately been not used this season. Reece Nelson, completely underrated. It's like he's not even considered that much of an option, but every time he's come on, he's done something. Trossard. So we do have depth. We have depth. I just feel like we haven't used it properly.
Yep. Okay.
That's what I think.
Oh, well, listen, thank you very much. We're going to have to move it on. We've got loads of callers, but thank you very much.
Thanks for the
appreciate
call,
that.
Thank you, guys.
Let's move on to our next caller. We're going to run them through. We've got Tumo. We've got Tumo waiting. How you doing, Tumo? Did I pronounce that right?
How are you guys doing?
Is it over?
No.
Oh, come on,
we're still on it.
Give me some positivity here, man. Give me something. I need something.
We go to the start of this season. My expectations were just Champions League football. That's it. Top four, that's the best that I could get. So seeing where we are now, obviously, like the past 4 weeks have not been good, but where we are now has been fantastic. We have the youngest team in the league, and we are first. And now we're saying, we're done. Let's just sit back. Let's just give up. Let's just say it's over. We lost 4-1 to Man City. We lost to a team that is just better than us, in my opinion. Man City is such a difficult team to go out there and beat. And, it's just not over. Because this has been such an impressive season from all of the 11 guys and from all the guys included across the season.
Can you see, just being realistic though, can you see City slipping up from now till the end of the season? You saw the games that we listed out, that they've got remaining: Fulham, West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford, and also, of course, in between that, they've got Real Madrid back-to-back. But can you see them realistically slipping up?
It's football. Anything can happen. I think, for the amount of games that they have a lot to focus on, the FA and, Champions League as well, and the Prem. And then, injuries could happen, anything could happen. But otherwise, I don't see them dropping points. But it's more on us. Not more on us, but...
We got to stay in it. Well, listen.
Yeah, we got to just stay positive. Because the season isn't over. We're still first on the table. It's not mathematically done.
Thank you very much for your positivity.
I like that call, man. I like
that, man. I like that. Thanks for your positivity, man. We're going to move on to our next caller. Thank you very much for that. A bit of positivity there. We got Raz on the line. Raz? How you doing, Raz? You good?
Raz, hello.
Is that the lucky cat?
Yeah, I'm fine. And
was that your lucky cat? Was that a cat with you there?
Yeah, it's an orange cat, which means it's a Wolves fan, and I got a black one, which is a Newcastle, I guess. I'm surrounded.
I thought he was going to say it's a lucky cat. But anyway, Raz, listen, is it over?
I'd like to think that no. Well, how should I say it? After two...
He's not convincing.
After 8, then 5, now to lead 33 game weeks in this season, it was like a dream that got wet, and then wetter. And then the clock, the clock alarm sounded at 2:2. Wake up is 2:2, and then wake up is 3:3. And now if you don't wake up at 4:1, it's over. I don't know.
I guess as well.
The question, we have a saying. The ball is round, so it can go in either of the sides. I don't know.
I like that. Where are you calling from, by the way?
Hello from sunny Bucharest.
Bucharest. It does look very sunny over there. Yeah. Bucharest, Romania. Big up yourself. Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
No worries.
Appreciate that. All right, we're going to Rez. Then we're going to move it on. He's saying to be positive there. I like that. But the ball is round. It's true what he says.
No, he is round.
The ball's round, but so is Haaland. He's a big guy. He's kicking that ball. That's the only problem. You know what I mean? Who we got up next?
Well, at least we can console ourselves that we don't have to play against Haaland for the rest of the season. Oh gosh,
I'll tell you that. We got Anthony. Anthony, how you doing? Not the Anthony that plays for Man United.
No. Never.
How you doing, man? How you doing? Is it over?
Man. Never say never. Never over, man. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Why?
All right. This is soccer. There's no team in the Premier League that's untouchable. Any team can beat you on a given day, and every game is 90 minute plus. Man City can drop points. I believe that.
Where are they going to drop? All right. We're looking at these games, right? Where do you think they could drop points, right? I'm going to list them out, and you tell me if you think they might drop points there. Fulham, away.
Fulham can take a point from them. Fulham is a good team. They can take a point.
The Fulham in last 5 games, 1-2, lost 3, right? West Ham at home, who, by the way, they did draw with last year at home, but West Ham at home.
See the game that West Ham have with us. West Ham can take a point from them. And any team in the list can take a point from Man City.
Leeds, the next one after that, they've got Leeds. They've lost 3 and drawn 1. Only won 1 in their last 5 games. They've got Everton, right, who are on a horrendous form at the moment. Everton, they have drawn 2 and lost 3 of their last 5. The game after that, they got Chelsea. They've been horrendous. I think they've lost their last 5 games. Brighton, who lost the other night, and Brentford, last game of the season, who did actually beat them earlier on in the season. But Brentford have lost 3 out of their last 5 as well. So can we realistically see them dropping points, or do you just look at it and say, as you know, we've been sort of saying, it's a run-in, anything can happen?
The thing is, Robbie, anything can happen. All the team that you just mentioned on paper can take point from Man City. Most of those teams fighting for their life, and there is nothing worse than a wounded animal. So any one of those teams can take a point from Man City, or even take 3 points from Man City in the Premier League.
All right, thank you very much for your call. Thank you. I want to trust you. I'm not too sure, but thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This is the Premier League, man. Trust me, this is the Premier League. Just remember this, Robbie. Remember this. Leon Edwards were fighting Usman. And in the last round, everybody right about he would lose. And he pulled that shot off.
Headshot
never
dead.
Say never, man.
Headshot
say
dead.
Never.
Headshot dead.
Definitely.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that positivity. So he's not thinking it's over yet.
No,
he's not thinking it's over yet.
No,
that's great.
And I guess the question that we posed at the top of the show is twofold, because you can relate it to the title, and also you can also relate it to, if we don't win the title, you're still 5 games left, 15 points up for grabs. The club owe it to everybody out there to go for it.
We got Deeney. We've got Deeney up next. How you doing? Not Troy Deeney. We've got the original Deeney. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad.
Is it over?
Bless up the Grey Twins.
Wrist up.
The Grey Twins in the building, bro. Right, is it over? Is it over?
All right, 19. I'm going to say this: 99.9% yes. And the reason why I say that is simply because it's kind of like asking Usain Bolt to slow down in a race. It's unlikely to happen. It's that 0.1% luck that we are hoping for. And the quote I have in my head right now is where luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And what we need to do is rest of the season is to take every opportunity to win for that luck. If Man City do drop points, because what we're asking Man City to do is literally, you've got to drop. They've got to draw at least 2 games. They've got to draw at least 2 games for us to get it back in our hands. And that's why it's tough.
I think if they drew 2 games, it would still be in their hands with their goal difference.
Yeah, because what it is, we're 2 points
so
ahead of them currently.
So we need Man City to lose 2 games, basically, then. For it to be back in our hands,
or lose 1 and draw 1. They could lose 1 and draw 1.
But it's just like
or draw a few. Do like we did. Draw 3 games.
But then we've still got to win all our games.
But the thing is, that can happen. But the reason why we just hardly see it happening. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying I've given up hope 100%. The reason why it's just hard to see it is because of the way Man City are playing right now. Because they are so well oiled in what they're doing right now, and they've been doing this. So we're asking a well oiled machine to collect some dust. Basically, that's what we're asking, and it's not going to be easy.
Well, listen, Dini, thank you very much. We're going to move it on. We're trying to get through as many calls before the end of the show, but great to speak to you again.
Blessings. Yeah.
Let me just do a couple of super chats here. John McDermott says, no surrender. And he's put a red and white emoji. Love that. He said, no surrender. Samuel says, who I asked him, who's he support? He says he's a proud Chelsea fan. Go ahead and laugh at me. A Chelsea fan with so much talk about bottling it and all rare. But listen, we face each other, of course, on Tuesday. Miles Smith says, progress and success are different. Finishing second with no trophies, I wouldn't say it is a success, he says. And Clinton Mark says, Robbie, you're asking the wrong question. City will definitely drop points, but will Arsenal win their next 4 games at least? That is the question. That is the question, for real. See if we can get a couple more callers in before the end of the show. We got Wilson. 2 more callers. Wilson, where are you calling from?
Hello, people. I'm from London.
London. How you doing, man? London in the house. But what are you saying? Is it over?
I'm still absolutely fuming. I'm fuming. We were absolutely awful against Manchester City. They were on a different level to us. They completely destroyed us. Our passing was poor. We could even make 1 or 2 passes together. Like the gaps between the gaps between both centre backs were far too big. and City were in every time.
All right.
I literally put my headphones down.
All right, you threw down your headphones and all that. Is it over? Have you clocked out for the rest of the season? Or
if I'm honest, if I'm honest, I feel like it's over because Manchester City are on a roll right now.
So what should we do?
To be honest with you, yeah, like I feel like it's over because obviously City are in great form, they're on a roll. But
no, you said that. But what should we do?
The only thing that we can do is that we have to win all of our games because there's 5 games left. We all know that there's 5 games left. You never know. City could slip up. If they do slip up, we got to capitalize on it. And I think you and Laurie said something. They've got to lose one and draw one to get it back to our hands. Remember the last time we've lost to City? That was at the Emirates. And guess what? On the next game they drew, which was against Forest, and then we're on a great run after that. So all Arsenal need to do now is just basically win the rest of our games. Don't give up entirely. And it's not just that the Arsenal players need to do it for themselves. They need to do it for the fans as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Well said, man. Well said. Thank you very much. Right, we've got our last caller of the day here.
Just got a super chat I want to read out here. It's from Miles Smith.
Okay, do the super chat. We'll get our last caller up as well. Read it out.
Yeah, he said, question, if we lost the title by 1 point, would you be more upset about dropping 2 points against Southampton or that the line weren't drawn at Brentford?
The line weren't drawn at Brentford, definitely. Who's our last caller then of the day? Ryan. We got Ryan as the last caller. Ryan, big up yourself, man. You're our last caller of the day, bro. And now the question is it over? Is it done? Is it finished? Have you checked out?
Robbie, man. Good evening, gentlemen. That's all I can say, man.
Good evening.
Yeah. For me, it was over 2 weeks ago, especially after the Southampton game. I want to be positive and optimistic, but Robbie, man, if we keep it real and we take our Arsenal caps off, man, I just can't see where Man City are going to drop any more points in these upcoming games. I'm hoping Fulham maybe this Sunday they can get a draw, or Brighton or Everton. They got that Everton game sandwiched in between that Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid, but I just think Arteta has thrown it away. Not just him, but it's the players as well. They've got to take some responsibility. But this is, and you know, Cecile will tell you this actually. I had a fan cam with him. Is the Nottingham Forest game earlier on in the season when we beat them 5-0. And I said to him, I still question Arteta. And Cecile looked at me like, you still question Arteta? Robbie, his man management and his player rotational skills are questionable. And it's his arrogance and his stubbornness that I just don't like. It's like, how can you go with the same team, other than with Granit Xhaka coming out and Fabio Vieira starting at Southampton? It was pretty much the same team for Liverpool, West Ham and Southampton. Surely you got to bring in Trossard, Tierney and freshen things up a little bit, because it just looks stale at the moment. And this is why I've been on the fence with Arteta for the majority of the season, man. This is what I want to be Arteta in like you, Laurie and everyone else, but I can't, man. It's because I want Arsenal to get back to where we need to. Yes, one thing I love, he's brought the culture back with the fans and everything, and he's brought the connection back with the club and stuff, but I can't get behind it, man. And I haven't been on this for a while, man.
I think you do make some valid observations, though, about team.
Am I going mad, Laurie? That's
also, I think you make some valid observations there. And also, I would throw in there the in-game management in terms of substitutions.
Oh, most definitely.
Stuff like that.
Most definitely.
So, yeah. But listen, at the start of the show, we put that question to the people there. Is it over?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much a twofold question because, okay, you've said, and we're not going to try and change your mind because that's what you think. You think that the title's pretty much gone. But that notwithstanding, there's 5 games left. Surely you want to see the team go out there and try and win all 5 games and finish on a relative high.
Oh, 100%, Laurie. I've spoken to quite a lot of Gooners over the last couple of days after that Man City defeat, and I've been saying to them, how do you want the season to kind of pan out? I still want Arsenal to win every single football game from now to the end of the season, because it's that what if Man City do slip up? We have to have that in the back of our minds. Even though I do think it is over, I still want us to capitalise on our results just in case they slip up against a Fulham, a Everton or a Brighton, because they've got a lot of fixtures coming up now. But
and in closing, I would also ask a supplementary. We get Champions League football. I think that's pretty much confirmed now.
Yeah.
Overall, again, if we don't win the title, are you reasonably happy with what the team's achieved this season? Do you consider the season a success or not?
I wouldn't consider it as a success, but I would say it's progress compared to where we finished last season, because finishing 5th and then finishing, whether we were to win the league this season or finish second as it looks like it is now, going from 5th to second, that's progress. And Arteta has shown that if the board do back him and the Cronkies give him the fund to get the players that he wants to implement his style, he can make a magnificent difference to this team. And he's shown, listen, I didn't expect nothing from the Man City game, because Arteta's got his hands tied behind his back right now. Tomiyasu is also another massive blow as well that not many Arsenal fans are speaking about. I think if he was available, if Tomiyasu was available, I think you would have seen something like Ben White going as a centre back, and I think Tomiyasu would have played right back with Zinchenko at left back. But I don't know how you guys feel with Arteta though, guys, man. I think his time's coming to an end.
Come on, this guy's getting too harsh now. It's your opinion, man. It's your opinion. I don't think it's coming to an end at all. I think he's been brilliant this season. It's been disappointing the past few weeks, but let's remember where we're at. We're still currently top of the league. We'll probably end up, not winning it. But even if we finish second, that is big progress. And with a few additions, you never know. But thank you very much for your call. Really appreciate it.
Laurie, man.
Respect,
cheers, man. We really appreciate
the work that you lot do. Keep up.
Man. Bless, bro. Thanks for your support. Thank you very much. And we're going to round it up now. Just before we go, we got so many calls in. But I've got to remind everybody that we, Arsenal, going to be playing a pre-season friendly. We already know we're going to be playing one in Washington. Another one announced today. Arsenal, looking forward to this one, are going to be playing Manchester United in New York in the summer. New York in the summer. I'm looking forward to that. The 22nd of July, Arsenal versus Manchester United. Flex has already given me a call. I'm looking forward to that one. That is going to be absolutely huge, right? So 22nd of July, Manchester United versus the Arsenal over there in New York. That is going to be good. Looking forward to getting out there for that one. And what's this? Oh my! Haaland's out for 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. No, I'm only joking. You never know. It can be news like that just changes the dynamic of what we're talking about.
When Haaland did miss a couple of games, Alvarez come in and he did very well.
That's true. They've got an unbelievable squad. But listen, we're hoping and we're praying for some sort of slip up from Manchester City. But you know what? Regardless of that, Arsenal need to try and finish the season in style, win as many games as we can, and stay in this fight right till the end. That's what they got to do. It's not deluded to say that. The title is probably over from the other night. I was there. It was horrible. It probably is done. It probably is over. When you look at the strength of Man City, when you look at their trajectory that they're going on, and the players that they have and the squad that they got, it makes no sense what I'm saying. But this is football. It can be a crazy game. A few weeks ago, we were 8 points ahead. No, we're no longer in that position. So Arsenal just need to keep winning games, stay there, and you never know.
You never know.
It might not be over. Laurie, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks to you guys.
I actually feel a bit more positive now we've had this show here. You know
a bit of therapy for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Although I know there's a lot of people out there saying, "You shut up, Robbie, man, you deluded, you get out of here," right?
No, but like we said, like I was keen to stress, Robbie, the question that we put, or the what we put out there, it's not over yet. It's twofold. So even if what I'm saying is, and I'm sure you agree with me, even if we don't win the title, there's still 5 games left. There's 15 points to fight for. Let's fight tooth and nail for every single point.
Tooth and nail.
Finish the season on a high.
Go out there, fight right till the end. That's what we want to see And that's what I know every gooner out there wants to see. Arsenal fight right to the end. Thank you for watching the show tonight. Don't forget to check out all of our content over the weekend. Of course, we got the Chelsea game coming up, which those police moved, and I'm very unhappy about that. Should have been 5:30 tomorrow, but the game's been moved to Tuesday. We've got some great content coming out over the weekend. Super fan debates with Chelsea fans, building up to that Chelsea game as well. So check out our content over the weekend. We've got the Invincible podcast coming out as well. So make sure you check that out. But we're out of there right now. Thanks for tuning in tonight for FanZone. And remember, to get involved in FanZone, if you want to come on the next time, download our app at the App Store, AFTV Plus, and you can be on here talking to us, your very own fan cam. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Introducing FanZone. My friend Elliot from Canada.
We are still.
Say we are
top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
Allows any fan, anywhere you are on the planet, to broadcast live into our shows at the push of a button via our website or app.
I'm tired of hearing about the Europa League like it's silverware. So is the League Cup. So is the Dubai Cup. So is the Community Shield.
Ah, Michael, come on, they're not the same level. No, I mean it.
Cecile. My guy.
FanZone on AFTV Plus. You can download it on iOS or the Play Store and have your say.
Oh God, McLaren! He's gone. He's been in the pit 40 seconds! Whoa! Front wing! Careful with the front wing! God! Matisse, it's happening, mate. I'm putting on my lucky new Ferrari hat. Oh no! Oh, science! Leclerc! It's Leclerc! Drama! Take that out. Leclerc!